Hello, hello, hello. Good evening, everyone, and welcome to the stream. So, as you see, tonight I decided to work on plan shift again. I think we made good progress, and I would like to double down on that progress. So, ensure that we continue and we improve what we made yesterday night. This page is the YouTube gaming page. I just don't know if we should use this one, the standard YouTube. I think when I'm streaming on YouTube, automatically I'm streaming also on YouTube gaming. I think it's just another view of the same page. I just don't know what is the difference, but like for example, here we are live now, so we can see that we are live. And there is the chat. Okay, I'm not logged in at the moment, but I don't know if it's different than the one in YouTube. Usually I'm using this one and not I'm using the YouTube one and not this, but I don't know if there is any difference. Okay, so let me restart everything because my this PC rebooted, so I have to restart everything, which includes Visual Studio, includes the MySQL workbench to view the database in case we need it, and obviously the Unreal Editor. So we'll launch all of that. Let me also open up the chat because I don't have it open, so I can see what you're saying. Hello, Maui. Okay, I think we are ready. So what are we working on? We are working on, what is my paint? My super good paint. What is it? Where is it? Here, I found it. So the current mission is mission item skins, right? Yes, but I didn't save it. Aha! I didn't save it yesterday. Crap. Well, I could look at the stream and make a screenshot, but okay, I can redo it quickly. But basically, I didn't save it yesterday night. But basically, we have a few pieces that we need to do. So the first mission is actually done. In case you were following yesterday, this mission is done. Now the second mission actually has a lot of submissions which we are doing, and in particular there is one mission about the left hand, the right hand. Let me just make it maybe the same font. This is too big. Okay. Right hand and left hand items, and this is done. Those two are done. In terms of armor, actually armor is a bit is not correct because armor is more than this. Armor is torso, arms, hands, legs, and feet. And then we have also helm, and we have yes, we have helm. This is all the armor that we have today. There will be also the plate armor. Let me put also the plate as a separate item because the plate actually is changing the geometry as well. And then here in terms of tattoo we don't have, clock we don't have, but here we will have at least hair, yes, skin, and eyes. And I don't know if I'm forgetting something, but I think that should be it for now. So all these things are locations of our character that can be skinned, you know, and for all these locations we need to enable it. We need to enable the skin. So right hand and left hand are done. Too big. Right hand and left hand are done. Now we are, and also torso is done because we did it, so it works okay. I would like to do all the others. I would like to do arms, hands, legs, and feet. At least this one should be very simple to do. I think it takes really 1 second. Hello, Sand. Welcome. Hello. So I think we want to do these things. By the way, if you remember yesterday, I posted some questions. I posted some questions on Answer Hub, and actually someone actually answered, which is very nice. And my question was really about this. Where do I see my stuff? I think here. My question was about this set material on the server side that then has to be replicated, you know, to the client side. And we didn't get an answer, but we got a comment. My question was really like, okay, is there another way, or do we really have to replicate the material manually? Because I don't see a case where, let's say, where you don't want the material to be replicated, right? And so I would put it as a default, but it's not default. So this is what I'm puzzled about. But at least one guy answered saying, you're not missing anything. If you change the material server side, you also need to replicate it with rep notify. So also this guy, I don't know if this guy is you know, is anyone reliable, but he's answering the same. So he's answering that yes, you have to replicate. So for now we will replicate. Then if some smart guy will tell us how to do it, if there is a setting that replicates automatically, then great. But for now, unfortunately, well, unfortunately, I don't know. I mean, for now we go with what we know, so which is replicating, right? So let's start the editor and let's implement the other parts of the body. So arms, legs, and everything else should be pretty easy to do, because in reality the only thing we need is to ensure that we have the proper strings in the database and in our translation table, and that's it. Maybe let me see if meanwhile someone did any changes to the repo. No, I'm the last one that did change, so I should already have the last version, so I can safely go and modify. Okay, so just to recap for you, the still starting. Hello, Amy. Welcome. The thing is pretty simple. So whenever we keep an item being a weapon in our hand or being an armor that just changed the texture of our character, we are sending a message from the server to the client. And well, first of all, we are keeping it on the server. Okay, so because we are doing the job on the server. And the server is then setting a specific variable which is replicated in all the clients, saying, hello, we have changed our armor. Okay, and so that variable then arrives here in these onRep functions. For example, this one onRep torso texture ID. So this happens when we change our armor, and it is where we do the set material. So we set the material on the torso, right? And the way we do it, we just send an ID, and this ID gets translated to a translation table to get the actual string, and then this string is made into a material and then set into the mesh. Okay, so that is what we do, and it works okay. So I think it's fine. The problem is that we have to do this for every piece, but also because some pieces may have a slightly different management. Okay, so they may B, some of them will be managed differently. So yeah, so the way to do it is relatively simple, even if this graph will become a bit of a mess, but is to ensure that based on the slot that we receive, and the slots are these ones, right hand, left hand, right finger, hand, neck, back, blah, 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 blah. Based on this switch, we are setting a specific ID, right? And so what we need to do, we need to add new variables here. In particular, let's do them all together so it's a bit quicker. So I will have arms ID, arms texture ID, which is an integer. Then I will have legs texture ID, which is also an integer. Then I will have hand texture ID. Let's call it hands, so we remember this for both hands. And then we will have, so legs, and then we'll have arms, we have it. Torso, we did it. Feet texture ID. Okay? So these are the four that we need to cover these cases, these four cases, right? These ones. Then the element of the plate are slightly different. So for now, let's go with this. Let's go with these four. All four, I would like them to be inside equipment, because you can categorize variables in Unreal, which is very nice. So you don't have this infinite list of variables, but you can categorize them in groups. You see here on the left, I have a group called equipment. If I open it up, it shows all these variables. You have another one dedicated to vitals, to UI, to components and such. So, and some are unfortunately unsorted, but that's okay. So, yes, so these are our variables. So we have to be sure that these variables, first of all, are replicated. And in particular, we want this to be ramp notify, right? So we want ramp notify because we want a function to be triggered when this variable changes value. That's the meaning of ramp notify. At least this is what we learned a few days ago, right? Okay, so all of these now are rep notify, and you will notice in the graph that they have these two small balls here, white balls, like if one is the replica of the other, because they are replicated. So now we need to get one by one. So for example, arms, and for arms is number 8. So I need to set this on number 8, and I would like to set it. Let's see if I can create yes, I can. A reroute. How do we make this graph not a mess? How do we make this graph not a mess? It's a very good question, huh? Because there are a lot of lines that are going through this. I think the parent we have no way to. We have no way. Maybe we can split. Maybe the mesh we can split. So this one maybe we can remove from the middle of the graph because I think it's a bit annoying. And I can put it like this. This is the parent. No, sorry. I wanted to get the mesh, not the parent. No, this one, sorry, I was just rolling back. This one is okay if it stays like this. I want to get the second one, this one, which is the static mesh. This one I think we can somehow, because the static mesh is used here, is you like this one is mesh, right? Static mesh component, static mesh component. Current item right hand. Yeah, so this one is the same as this one, huh? So this one probably we can just do this, which is a bit cleaner, so we don't have that line going through. And we can probably do the same here, which is a bit cleaner. We move this up a bit. I think we can move this up substantially. Yeah, something like that. And there is still one which goes, okay, the parent is fine. The target, this target is still the mesh. I think this one we can just move down here. I think if you keep the stuff, you know, at the bottom, all the big connectors, if you keep them at the bottom or at the top of your graph, is cleaning up things a bit. So, and then we wanted to have it also here at the end. Yes, we wanted to have it also at the end. Maybe the one at the end, we just continue this one. I prefer to have it like this instead of coming from the top. Okay, I think it's, at least the middle is a bit cleaner. Then this one, which is number 5, this one is number 5. The problem is that we will have 2 and 3. No, 3 and 4 we will not use, so I think we can do this. We can move number 5 significantly up, and then we can have all these others, you know. We can move this like this, and then we can have, yes, then we can have all the new ones down here, okay, which are, should we get this from the top? Yes, probably yes, it's better if I get it from here. Okay, and so this area will be slightly cleaner, not much, but anyway. And I can probably also have this one, no, as a finishing line on each of them, just connect it like this, so that now it goes to the end. Okay, so we need to have arms, we need to have legs. Let me zoom in a bit more, otherwise we don't see anything. We need to have hands, and we need to have feet, and then torso at the end. So all of these have to be connected. Now let me check the numbers. So legs should be connected to number 11, so below this in theory, and hands should be connected to gloves, so number 9. Okay, it was called gloves, maybe we can rename it. Yeah, let's rename it. I think I would like to keep it the same. Let's rename it to gloves. And then we have legs. No, legs we did already. And then we have feet. And feet is number boots. It's called boots. Okay, 10. Yeah, that slightly different in, so let's call it boots as well. Boots. Okay. Now, all of this has to be populated with the same value here, which is our, this is where the graph becomes more of a painting than a graph, but it's what it is. Cannot do much about it. And I think I can maybe also improve a bit this area, which is a bit of a mess as well, because I have, why I did it this way, because these were tests, I think. These two are only tests for now, but maybe we can clear it up later. So we set all of this, and then we just return, and basically all these variables are just getting set and getting replicated on the client. and calling a function which is replicated on the client. Right? On the torso we can put it here as well. So all these sets should be pretty much, you know, identical. It's just setting a variable and then is sending it back to the client. It's doing nothing else than that. Now, considering that all of these are rep notify, we generated, for sure we generated, I mean the engine generated automatically for us a new onRep function. In fact, you see them here on the left. The only problem is that I think it generated with the name that they had before we renamed the variable. So like we don't have globes, we have ants. Can I rename it, or should I? Because I don't know if I renamed it. I can do this. Let me remove the rep notify on globes and put it back. Yeah, it just creates another one. So I think he assumed he has the same name. So we should be careful in doing this kind of renaming, you know, because I think you may lose the reference. So I'm just redoing it and deleting the one that we are not using. I renamed only gloves and boots. All the rest is the same. And yes, so now in all of these functions, we should do exactly the same that we did in torso. Now, can we have a generic function that does it instead of copy pasting this on 5? Because I don't really like to copy paste on 5, to copy paste the same thing on 5, you know. I think we need only 2 inputs. We need only 1 input, only the torso texture ID. No, because we also need to know which is the element, because the element changes. So yes, we can create a function. I double clicked on something and now it's reading symbols doing something. I don't know. I think we can create a function. Yes, it's launching another Visual Studio. Can this be disabled, by the way, so that it doesn't launch Visual Studio when I double click on stuff? We can create a function which basically has an input, so we can call it, I don't know if I want to call it onRep, but I may call it, no, onRep no, but I will call it, because I want to be able to find it again. Yeah, let's create a new function which is called set material on body part, because this may work only for the body parts, right? Not for anything else. So this will be set material on body part, and we'll have as an input a number, which is actually the texture ID, and it will have an element, a body part ID, which at the end will be our element. So element 0, 1, 2, 3, 4, depending on the character. Okay. Well, not depending on the character, because all characters should have the same pieces. Even if some have wings, some have tails, but the wings go together with the torso, and the tail goes together with the legs. Yes. So the set material on body part should basically be exactly what we did here for torso. So it should be, I think I can just copy this, the full thing, cut it off, so I removed it, and I put it in my new set material on body part, with the difference that now texture ID is this guy, and texture ID is this guy, and oops, and texture ID is this guy, and then we have body part, which we can, I think, go down here. So we can go like, okay, and this one will be connected here. And set material, well, the set material on torso, now I cannot say torso because it's generic, but I can say set material on element, and then we can say the element maybe. Anyway, I don't care too much about that printout to go through, so we just need to connect this here, ensure that this is graphically sounding. And I mean, this printf, okay, it's fine. Why we have this mess? It is a bit of a mess, but I don't know if we can improve it. Maybe like this. This piece is a bit of a mess, but why we are doing this twice? This is a mistake. Yes, why we are printing this twice? Okay. Yeah, this was a repetition. I created it and so it's fine. It's fine like this. So it goes here. It goes. I like these colors. This purple thingy. It's very nice. And yes. Okay. So now we need to call this function from all the others, all the onRep notify. Okay. And so basically from my onRep torso, I need to call set material and body part, and I will take here, I can take the torso ID and put it here, and the body part will be hard coded, but it's okay. So the element 0 corresponds to the torso, we know that. So now I basically have just to do the same for all the others. So my onRep notify arms. So the end is pretty simple code, huh? Now we have to check if arms is, which part is arms, but arms is, if we take our viewport here and we go to our mesh, wow, why we have arm 1 and arm 2? This is a very bad idea. No, it's impossible. There is some mistake here. The arms should be together. So let me change the texture just to see. Head to 1. Okay, the head is okay. The head is okay. The air should do nothing actually, because the guy doesn't have any hair. Actually, the hair is the eyes. Why these are named completely wrong? Hands. Let me check what is the hands. Can we see this guy from the front? Yes. Let me see the hands. Yeah, the ends are correct. So the ends is element 3. So, which is what we called gloves. So let's do it one by one, otherwise we'll lose the thing. So gloves texture ID get, boom, and this one is number 3. Okay. Then hands, we said, yes, it's number 3. Then we said that arm. Let me check this arm. You see, it's both arms. Obviously, it's both arms. I don't know what is the next one, but I think we have a mistake in the assignments. So the element 4 is the arms. The element 4 is the arms. 4, okay. Then, for whatever reason, there is another arm, but it is not correct for sure. This actually does nothing. The eyes? No, not the eyes. I don't know, this one doesn't do anything. This element 5 is not used, this seems so. And the element 6, I think, is the feet. Yeah, so this one seems to be okay. So the element 6 is the boots. Element 6, and we take our boots texture ID. We connect it there. Okay, then there is one more here, which is legs. Yes, it is actually legs. So that is correct. So is number, sorry, is number 9? No, it's number 7. Legs is number 7. So we take this one, we put it here, and we go number 7, and we take our legs texture ID. Okay, nice. Yeah, I'm just thinking if there are some parts of the armor which are linked, but I don't think we have in the game, right? We have some skins that are linked. So, okay, we will have to do that later, but I think it's okay, because when they are linked, I think we are sending each piece separately. Yeah, I think it should be fine. I think it should be fine. Okay, let's see if we fill them all. So we fill boot with number 6, we fill gloves with number 3, we fill legs with number 7, we fill arms with number 4, and we filled torso with number 0. Okay, the other textures, I have no idea what they are used for. But the important point for us will be that we keep this structure exactly the same between all the characters. Otherwise, it will really become messy. Because I don't have a way to know what texture is associated to what, you know, so at least not by code. I have to assume that they stay in the same position all the time. Okay, so having done that and having done the equip piece, have the equip? Yes, we have it. Just not very easy to find. Is here. Having done this, so this will trigger on the rep notifying all of this. Okay, fine. Now what we need to do, we need to ensure that we have one item in the database which is associated to legs, arms, and everything else. So I think we had the chainmail armor. I've seen it. Right? Yes, there is this one: leather torso armor, chainmail torso armor, plate torso armor. Now I don't know if we have the legs or the arms. Let me see where valid slots like arms. I don't know if you already have in the database. No, we have only the base slots, but this is not what we need. So we need to create a new one. So let me see if we have one with legs. No, we only have one. One with gloves. No. One with boots. No. So we have to create one item for each of those in the database so that the item actually exists, because at the moment they are not existing. So we will go and create one. I think we can copy paste. Can we copy maybe one item that we have already, like the chainmail? Yes, let's copy this one. There are a few important information here, like the string part. This one we are not using at the moment. Huh? No. Okay, let's copy this line. I think I can copy and paste, right? And this. So I pasted, but now I need to find an ID. Can I order by ID? At the moment this is 417. Yeah, so let's do, even if I don't want to, because these are the items that are automatically generated. Let's stay in this range. So after 474 we do 475. So this still all together. I mean, it makes no big difference, but it's just to, you know. What did I do? I changed the wrong one. Yes, I did. Let me do revert. So we copy this row, we paste it new, and then we change it to 475. Okay. This will be chainmail, torso, no, this will be chainmail, arms, armor. And the difference is that here it will be arms and bulk. And all the rest I think is the same. The only difference could be here that we say string part arms. Yeah, all the rest is fine. I mean, the description, we don't really care at the moment. Okay, so let me copy another one then. So we paste again, we do 476. And we do legs. Legs, and we also change it here with legs. Okay, then we have another one which is 477, which will be gloves, we said. Then we will have to change the texture, the texture, this thing, the texture settings, but we will do it in a second. And then the last one is 478, and is what we have gloves. We missed the boots. Miss the boots. The name is Boots, right? Yes, it's Boots. Okay, we just change here also to Boots, and the rest is the same. Now, what we want to do, we want also to change the texture ID, because obviously we have different textures based on different armor pieces. So we want in this DT textures, we arrived up to 4. So we will do 5, 6, 7, and 8. Okay, 5, 6, 7, and 8 will be the five, 6, 7, and 8. Why this one came in between? Why this one just appeared in between? No. They are not ordered by ID anymore. Okay, but these are the 4 pieces of armor that we want, right? And now we have in the database, means we can spawn them, we can equip them, and we can see the results. Now 5, 6, 7, and 8 are new rows that we have to add here, and actually we need to point this to for now I will do it like this, but then we will do it for different characters, because there is another trick we need to do. There is another trick, yes. So number 5 is they are in sequence, right? Yes, number 5 is arms. So the arms of my character is this one. The only problem of this is a bit hard coded at the moment, so I mean it's not really hard coded, but legs. Lex is number 6, then we have number 7, Lex is number 6, yes, we started from 5, yes. Then we have gloves for number 7, and gloves I think are these ones. And then we have 8, which is boots, and boots is this one. Okay, so we have them all listed. Now unfortunately this is not the final status for this thing, because we will need to make it by character. And so I think we will need to have a very strong naming convention for this. Very strong naming convention, but for now it's okay as we have it. So at least we see if it works, right? Okay. Should it be enough? I think it should be enough. We have the item in the database. We can load it Yes, I think it should be enough. Let's test it and see if it does something. So I'm starting the server, starting the client. Logging in. Now I need to log in with a character that has administration privileges. And in this case we have, because we want to spawn some new armor. Okay, so we want to spawn. See, my character already has the torso. Item, this will be chainmail, arms, armor. Just needs to fix the lights. Okay, so we have it, is here. So let's see if this works. If I put it on, chainmail, arms, armor, it should go, I don't know where it goes here. It didn't work. For some reason it didn't work. Even if I have it equipped. Let me see if we received. So on the client we received the calling rep on rep torso texture ID number 5. Yes, unfortunately we still have torso everywhere in our printouts. I think we have. I just copy pasted the code, so I think it says torso everywhere. Yeah. Set material. Then we can say texture ID, but yes, but anyway, texture ID was printed out, so we came here with number 5. Number 5 is this one, arms, metal arms, and I think I would like to print out also the body part, no? So that we have both pieces. And then it says set material on element, but the last printout is not very useful to us. So seems it did it right, but it didn't work. Let's just double check that the arms are really element 4. Yes, they are. They are really element 4. So let me see, for the arms we said 4. Set material on body part. Yes, we actually said 4. Sorry, why 4 and not 5? Because actually, no, the texture is 5. Okay, let me just launch it again to understand. Yes. By the way, we still have to do the removal, because now it works only for the equip, but it doesn't work yet with the removal. I hope I saved that. Hello, Tua. It's going good, thanks. We are making good progress. Setting the armor on the parts of the body so that we get, you know, equipped. We can equip different part of the armor, like arms and legs and things like that. Progressing is not fully working yet, but just a matter of debugging a few bugs, but it's easy. I mean, the way is the right way. So let's see with the torso. I think I have the torso here. I have the torso here. So if I put the torso on, okay, the torso works, and I get a message saying, yes, texture number 4 on body part 0. Okay, which is good. Then if I put the arms on, the arms don't work for some reason. It's saying texture number 5 on element ID 4. Texture number 5 on element ID 4. Now, texture number 5 is correct, I think, but texture number 5. Ah, stupid me. I have set the basic armor and not the chainmail one, so that's why. You're asking if I'm using master pose component for multiple skeletal mesh. You have to ask to Zway. I don't know if Zway is still here connected, but he's the guy that did it, so you have to ask him. I don't know. I can look at the files and see, but he will be able to answer. But at the moment, anyway, we have one skeletal mesh. I mean, we have one skeleton adapted to my knowledge, to the Unreal Engine skeleton, so that we can reuse the animations between different characters. That is what I know. It is the work that has been done recently by its way. So each mesh has each character, apart from the one that do not exist, but should have the same. Yeah, some are not loaded, but this one is loaded, right? Should have a skeleton which is compatible with the Unreal Engine pose. You see that the character basically has the same pose of the Unreal Engine mannequin. Yes, these are skeletal mesh. Yeah, you see all the bones here? Yes. These are all skeletal meshes, and each one has then an animation. Okay. So each has different animation based on. So now I don't know if this animation is I think these are not the latest version anyway, so some of those may not be alright. For what I see, they are not alright, so they are not moving properly. Based on they are not moved properly. Yes, they are not moving as expected. That is the right horse animation. Blue, blue. This is the shoot a bow. I see there are quite few issues with this animation though. But anyway, they are not the latest versions. Shoot crossbow. Okay. sit down. I think there are some bones that are just like doing whatever you want. There are some bones which are not working properly anyway, so we'll have to look at that. Okay, but anyway, who cares? I'm not doing that. So, what I was saying that when I put on the armor, I change the material in certain cases, but I also change the mesh in other cases. So it depends on the armor. The plate armor is changing the mesh. The normal, the chainmail or the leather are only changing the texture. So we do both. Okay, so number 5 should be arm, but the error I did, and I can close this because I will have to restart it. The error I did is that I've set the texture of the basic arm and not the one of the chainmail armor. So I need to copy this and substitute it with this. Then I need the legs. Copy reference. Then I need the hands. And then I need the feet. Copy reference. You had to disable network smoothing or else the skeletal mesh all the sync. What do you mean by desync? Like it's not playing proper, like the bones are going like crazy, or what is happening? Because maybe it will happen to me as well, you know. Maybe it will happen to me very soon. So tell me before. Are they lag? At the moment when the character is moving, it seems to me it is moving okay. It seems to move okay, like instantly, but I can check again. Maybe I didn't pay attention, you know. Maybe I didn't pay attention, but okay, it seems that the thing is not working anyway, so why? I don't know. Let me try to equip the legs or the hands, but seems that something is not working. So if I do /item, first I need to create the item, chainmail gloves armor. Okay, I have it. So if I put it on gloves, it does freaking nothing. Why? Interesting. Fail to find object. Okay, doesn't find the object, so that's probably why. Fail to find object, material, game character, clan, texture, clan, anime, clan, anime, chainmail. I mean, I copied the reference, so how can he fail to find it? Is interesting. Failed to find object, material, game character. Let me copy this. How can it fail to find this if I copy the reference? Let me see if it does it with the other pieces as well, okay? So if I do it with legs, legs armor, yes. It says fail to find objects. You know what? You know what? Because these one are only texture. They are not materials. So in fact, I think in my, yeah, these are all texture 2D. No, I need to create the material for each of them, right? Yes, I need to create a material. There's no way. And it's good it's automatically named the way I need it. So I just have to click on create material and it's done for me. So it's not too heavy, you know, in the editing, but ouch. Hey, can I delete this? I created this light brush by mistake and now I cannot delete it. Okay. Slate blush cannot be deleted. I have no idea. Okay, so I created the materials. Now I need to copy the reference and put this reference. So this is arm chainmail. Arm chainmail. Yes, now it's correct. Because now it says material actually. Yeah, I forgot I had to create the materials for each, but okay. Now this means we will need to have a very strict naming convention. If we fuck up some names, the texture will not show up. Texture will not really show up. Okay. Let me just remove all of these armor pieces because I want, you know, to keep them. By the way, we should also place some icons, but 1, 2, 3, 4. Aren't those 5? No, are 4. No, are 5. There should be arms, torso, gloves, legs. I'm missing boots. Let me generate it so we have it. Chainmail, boots, armor. So we have it generated for the next round. Okay, good. So, but basically, I mean, apart from some stupid mistakes that I'm making, but basically it should work, okay? It should be working. Should be no reason why it's not working. Why wants to change curved bench? Weird. Okay. So these now are saved. Okay, so that is okay. What we need to do now is to just test it again. But now I think hopefully it will work. Now that is the kind of the basic system. So we put in place a fairly basic system to equip different pieces of armor. Right? Why I'm saying fairly basic? Because, for example, at the moment he's working only on one character. He's not working on all the characters, and he has to be parametric so that he works on all the characters, right? That's the point. So let's see. So if I put on the arms, 1 second, is the light. It's always night in this game. I don't know. So if I put on the arms, where are my arms? I dropped them. Oh my god! I dropped them somewhere. Boom! Something happened. What happened? The server crashed? Something crashed. I don't know what. The server crashed? Well, the server seems... Yeah, the server crashed, I think. Why it crashed? Maybe it's in a loop. Because there is one case, there is long time it doesn't happen, that the server goes into kind of a loop state. And I think that is the case. I know where is it, I know why, I just never fixed it because I don't know exactly how to fix it, but anyway, I didn't want to dedicate too much time to it. But there is a case in the where we are searching the path where our character should move, that it goes into like an infinite loop. Okay, let's try again. Hopefully it doesn't happen again. It's a long time it doesn't happen, so I nearly forgot about it. But I think it's that problem. I'm fairly sure. Okay, so apart from becoming night every time, so I stop it. Okay, so we want to test if putting on the arms. Where are the arms? The arms are here. Kind of yes, it's loading the texture. Hello. Is loading the texture or is not finding the texture? Wow, what does this mean? Material game character Cran Archer melee is missing. Use with skeleton mesh equal to true. Default material will be used. I mean, what the fuck? What does it mean? Okay. The torso, he likes it, but for some reason my material on the arms, he doesn't like it. Gloves, let me see the gloves. I think the gloves is the same. Use it with skeletal mesh. I mean, you have to flag the materials in a special way to say that it is to be used with a skeletal mesh. Okay. Okay. How do I say this? Material domain surface, blend mode opaque, translucent, shading model, two-sided, material attribute, subsurface, decal response, opacity, cast dynamic shadow, detail editor, blah blah blah, negative, generate, tangent, emissive, full ramp, global, normal, right frame. Usage, use with skeletal mesh, indicates that the material and its instances can be used with the skeletal meshes. This will result in shaders required to support skeletal meshing being compiled with increased. Oh, okay. Okay, so he wants to know which are the materials that we are using on characters, because probably he's doing some additional calculations on it. Okay, fine. Yes, we want to use it as a skeletal mesh, my friends. So let me remove all of this. So we'll try again later after we have set that variable. But here you see why I need the characters in their final form, because like now I'm creating these materials, I'm setting their properties, and if these materials get changed again and again and again and again, will be pretty hard. Yeah, so he's probably saving some additional. Yeah, generating. You see, generating stuff based on this setting. Generating more shaders. I don't know what he's doing, but which is good because it means that for all the others they are optimized, and so they are not generating additional shaders. So overall is a good news for us. So probably I've set this on the torso already. I just don't remember, but I did it. Yes, was set already on the torso, and probably I just forgot that I did. Okay. Will this be the run where we see it working properly? Boys? I hope so. I hope it is the run. Okay, so torso is the easy one because it was working already. Then arms. It works now. Gloves. It works now. The texture correct? Yeah, I think it is. It is? It doesn't seem to be correct, but anyway. Legs. Okay. And boots. See the boots? I think the only way is to detach from the character. The boots are complaining. Yes. They are complaining about why the armor, the hands, it seems to me that the texture is like upside down, no? I mean, it's like the opposite of what it should be. But anyway, I mean, basically it works, okay? I don't remember if the texture of this character is like this. I have no idea, I don't remember. But it's okay. So the system basically works. I just have to flag the proper flags, you know, but I think it's okay. The system works. The system works. The system works. Now, the point is that this system is working only for one character. And it is not good at all, because we want the system. I think I just didn't save it because I clicked on skeletal here, but yes, I didn't save it. That's the only problem. So No, the UV are on the geometry, are not on the material. The UV are always on the geometry, and the material is just applied on top of it. At least I hope it's like this also in Unreal. Otherwise, will be a mess. I mean, the UV is the one that it takes from the geometry, right? I hope so. Otherwise, like, the torso will not be okay. Even if it doesn't look really okay. I don't remember how it was in the old game, but does it look okay to you? Hello, Sway. I mean, I don't add UV for for each material, right? I assume the material is using the UV of the geometry, like it's for every object and for everything. Like also the falcons is the same, right? So I have my, now you are putting me a doubt, you know, but like for my falcons I have the same. So I have the material, but the UV are not specified in any way. So they are using the UV of the geometry. Okay. So now, if you want to have this work for any character, it is the trick we have to do. So the trick is that instead of cran, torso, chainmail, mat, right? We will have a dollar something, like we had in the old plan shift. So we have like a dollar race, and we have a dollar race, and we have a dollar race. So this, yeah, I have to close everything. Why this doesn't close? So having the dollar, we can make the substitution, right? It was working exactly like this in the old plan shift as well. Hello, Sway. Yeah, I think that the animation are acting very, very weird. Is there a character? What is the character that you think is the most correct? You know, the one that is like more up to date, because the animations really don't look to be right. So before you do it on all the characters, I think we should be sure the one is correct. Otherwise, you do a lot of work for nothing, because then you will have to redo them all. So don't do them on all of them unless we are 100% sure that they are correct. And I think that the best way to be sure that they are correct is to show it to me, considering that some of those animations I've seen many times, and some of them I even made myself. So what is the character that you think is the most correct at the moment? Because, for example, hello Simone, welcome. Because, for example, some of the animation, it seems even to be misplaced vertically, so that the character was like jumping up a bit. Okay, so we need to do the trick you know. Null3ref is the most up to date, but Null3ref is not good, unfortunately. It's really not good. Assuming I opened up the right one, but so this position seems to be okay. I don't see any big issue with this. This position seems to be fine, but if you take, for example, I've seen it a lot on the seat animation, right? If you take the seat animation, it was very evident that something was broken. Sit down. You see this lag? It's going completely like crazy. There is one lag that goes completely crazy. Yeah, this lag on the left, which is just rotating like super crazy. But the point is, sorry, is this animation the old plane shift animation, right? So I think that's not going to be correct ever, right? So we should use the new Unreal Engine animations now. Oh, these are new animations? Okay, it looks very similar to the plane shift one, but okay. Like you see the seat idle, for example. So there is the seat down, okay, and it sits down on the ground. The seat idle is like flying 1 meter from the ground because the ground is here. Okay, you were trying to match them. Okay, okay. Like the sneak is moving only the legs and not the rest of the body. I don't know, it's still. Like the walk is 90 degrees. Look at the walk. The walk is 90 degrees horizontal, but I mean, it's like swimming instead of walking. Okay, but anyway, if you're still working on it, it's good that you. So, but just be sure that you do it on one character. Don't do work on the other characters until one is very good. Otherwise, maybe you discover something, you know, that has to be redone, and you have to do it on all again. Like the animation also here, there is one bone which is very broken. It is the right arm. I don't know if I can slow this down. Yeah, I can stop it, I guess. You see, this is swing. This wing is just the look at. I think the old one had a look at. I don't know if you have constraints, but here it seems that there is one constraint which is not moving with the character, but is like fixed in the world, and so it's just looking at the arm is just looking at the fixed point. When you surpass that fixed point, it swings like that. Okay. Okay, fine. So what I was saying, yes, I was saying that we need to substitute those things. So for example, we need to substitute with race. Now the problem is if this thing is case sensitive or not. I hope it's not case sensitive, because if it's case sensitive, it's very annoying. Because we will have to do raise uppercase, raise lowercase. Wow, it will be very annoying. Or we just decide to put everything lowercase and so it works. But okay, let's try to do it. Okay, so I changed this to be with the dollar raise. So whenever there is dollar raise, we have to substitute it with our clan, our race name. Now I don't know if we know our race name, but hopefully we do. So here after we get the material, right? Well, we could even do it in the C++ code maybe. What do you think? We can do it here or we can do it in the C++. But basically I would like to substitute. Is there a replace or something? Yes, there is a replace. Perfect. So we replace $race with, for now let's just put it in hard coded, okay, and then we will fix it. But yes, we just replace it. Replace $race with cran. And so here our torso will have cran instead of $race. And then we will do it for each race, right? Since we are doing this, maybe how do I get the race of my character? That's a good point. The race of my character. Do I store it anywhere? I don't think I do. I think the client is not aware of. Well, he's aware in the sense that he selected the mesh, so he knows there is a cran character. He knows there is a cran character, but do we store it anywhere? I don't think we store it anywhere. I think when the character is initialized, we should store it. Let me see. How do we know the race? How do we know the race? When our character is loaded, I think it can be inside load. Or so we have the race gender ID, and then we have our race info. I think we have to go server side to know it, but it's a bit stupid. So we should send it to the client as soon as the information is published to the client. Because we have it here, we set the race info, you know, we do all of this. So when we are spawning, I could also add a new variable which is replicated, and that is, you know, that is race string or something. So probably will be the easiest. I'm just thinking if there is a better way, there is a smarter way to do it. But at the moment I'm thinking just to have a replicated string, which is replicated once when the character is loaded, which is the name, the string name of the character, and that's, I think it's okay. Because we have it inside race info in our PS character. And race info is not in a real engine structure, so by default we cannot replicate it all. And by the way, on the client we don't even need it. Race info. So race info is a struct and is made of a bunch of attributes. The speed, the name, the sex, the gender. What is the difference between sex and gender? I don't know. the name, the mesh name, the mesh, you say. So the mesh names, yes, this one I think is the thing. Yes, the mesh name. The mesh name is the one that we need. Get the name of this race. I don't know if it's the mesh name or it's just the name. What is the difference? So the name is okay. The name is the readable format, let's say, and the mesh name is the one that we need, because the one that we need that we use for all our items and stuff. So for the cran will be cran, for the Dermorian female will be Dermorian F. So this is the string that I have to substitute somehow. And so I need this string on the client side. And so I think probably the easiest is just to publish it into a variable that is replicated, and as soon as I load the race info, I also set this variable on the character. I think is the easiest. When I do, yes, when I do set race info, exactly here, I will set also a variable which is replicated, which is race name or race mesh name. Race mesh name. Okay, I think we will do this. So let me see which other U properties we already have. We have the merchant, we have the trainer. This one we have to add new, I think. We have the fact if he's alive. We have the target object, we have the banker. We have the name and the last name and the full name. Okay, so all of this is already replicated. And that's it. Okay, so let's put it next to this. We will have an F string, which will be called race mesh name, and this race mesh name will be replicated. Okay, so I should be able to see it on my client, and then when we are setting the race info, which is here, I do also race mesh name equal to r info dot when IntelliSense wakes up, but I think it was like mesh name, right? As way, if you are listening, we also need, let's say, an absolutely defined structure for all the characters in terms of textures, meaning that I don't know if you were listening before, but I will tell you again now, meaning that if we have our cran mesh, you see the cran mesh at the moment when it's imported, he has a number of textures here on the right, sorry, which are the materials. So we have an element 0, an element 1, an element 2, which are pointing at the different parts of the mesh that I can skin, right? Now, I don't know if in the final, I mean, this was done for this grand character. Maybe you redid it already differently, probably. Because this grand character, I don't know if it's the one that you remade. Maybe it's not. Maybe this one is the only one that you didn't redo, right? Because you see, has all these elements, and these elements are fine with me as long as they stay in the same sequence for all the characters. I need that to stay in the same sequence, otherwise I'm dead. So let's take, for example, an alter, right? An alter, if I take the mesh base, she has, yes, she has the same, she has a number of slots. The important point is that they are in the same sequence. So that the torso is always the 0, the arm is also always the 1, the eyes is always the 2, and such. For all the characters. Otherwise, wow, the eye. This is a big eye. This is a very big eye. Doesn't really look like an eye, but maybe like this it looks more like an eye. Okay, so I don't know if you catch that comment, but I will need a way to standardize. Okay, and as soon as you standardize the characters, I will change the code. So it's no problem for now. And for now, I'm just making, let's say, I'm just building the infrastructure that allows me then to do this kind of things. But if I have to change the order later on, it's fine. I mean, it's not a big deal. It's not a big deal. Okay, so I think I have to close all of this. I think I have to close all of this, and I need to just recompile this one so that we get our property on the client. Right? Hopefully mesh name is the right one. I think it is, but we will see in a second. We'll see if it's the right one. So let's just restart the editor, and now it will recompile. Yes. Sorry, I got distracted. No, it's still compiling. Wow. It's still compiling, boys. Still compiling. We changed PS character, and when we change PS character is inherited by, included by so many other classes that we are basically recompiling the whole code base, you know. So that's why it's taking